In East Africa, Kenyan nurses have been on strike for over a week now, demanding pay rise and improved working conditions. Health officials say the strike has brought health services to a halt in many parts of the country and led to several deaths.
Bernard Kerosi works as a nurse in western Kenya. He traveled to the capital Nairobi to take part in a protest held by the Kenyan National Union of Nurses early this week. Protesters marched to the offices of the Council of Governors, COG, to push for the negotiated collective bargaining agreement, CBA, meant to have been signed by the union, the national government and county governments, but it was rejected by the State Commission that advises on public sector pay.
We are working under tough conditions whereby we don't have enough equipment, or we don't have enough supplies. In fact, we don't even have enough staffs. At times, most of the times, we are understaffed. So, in due course, we get overworked.
COG, which represents the county, says it plans to challenge the government's rejection of the deal. A nationwide doctor strike that nearly crippled the health sector ended in March after 3 months. The doctors downed their tools in December, demanding authorities implement an agreement reached in 2013 to give them a 150 to 180% pay rise. Private doctors were flooded with patients during the strike, but many Kenyans were unable to afford the fees and could not get treatment. Meanwhile, officials of the 26,000-member nurses union say they will not return to work until the CBA is signed.
We have the right to negotiate with the employer and have a CBA signed and implemented, so that the nurses, as any other worker in Kenya who is allowed to bargain for fair terms and conditions, can enjoy better or fair terms and conditions of work. So we are saying the government should sort out their problem, then bring the CBA for signing. The nurses will go back to work.
Protests in health and education have been a major headache for the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is seeking re-election when Kenya holds parliamentary and presidential elections in August.
At least 9 children have been killed in Niger after torrential rains lasting over several days led to the collapse of houses in the capital, Niamey. One mother told a local TV station that 3 of her 4 children had been killed as they sheltered from the heavy rains by the wall of a neighboring house. One of the main markets in the city center has also been destroyed, and 2 television channels were unable to transmit after their studios got flooded. Last year, about 50 people died in flooding, which also affected over 140,000 people. French President Emmanuel Macron has met with Morocco's King Mohammed VI at the start of a 2-day visit to the kingdom. This is Mr. Macron's first visit to a North African country since becoming president on May the 7th. He visited Algiers and Tunis during his campaigns. The French president believes the rifts between Qatar and its Gulf neighbors should not be allowed to escalate. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt severed diplomatic, trade and transport ties earlier this month with the Peninsula Arab country, accusing Doha of backing terrorism, which Qatar denies. The French president also offered support to the king over weeks-long protests in the north of Morocco against unemployment, injustice and corruption. The Moroccan government has urged officials to implement a development strategy aimed at providing jobs. In Nigeria, the food export program of the federal government is expected to generate $20 to $30 billion in foreign exchange for the country. This is coming from the Minister for Agriculture, Audu Ogbe. The minister, who was speaking in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, confirmed that the first shipment of a 40-foot container of yam has left the state for the United States. Another shipment is expected to leave Lagos to the United Kingdom at the end of this month.
The Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Audu Ogbe, and Governor Samuel Otom arriving at the CBN Enterprise Development Center for the official flag-off of the first Benue Youth Entrepreneurial Summit in Makurdi.
What you have to say to us?
The hall is filled to capacity with over 600 youths, invited guests and other stakeholders to witness the first phase of the scheme. The summit with the theme, Made in Benue is possible is a vision the Benue state government believes will help make the people self-reliant and improve the economy of the state.
I am confident that Benue youths have all it takes and what it takes to make the theme of this event possible.
Then Governor Otom takes the stage and assures the youths of his continuous support, asking them to get creative with their various goals.
Under the chairmanship of Honorable Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, just like I did with them some few weeks ago, I'm also going to dedicate as loan the sum of 100 million naira for this program.
Outside the venue, the Minister of Agriculture challenges youths to participate in food exports, which would earn Nigeria over $20 billion.
In another 5 to 6 years, we should be talking of about $20 to $30 billion a year from food. Double that figure in 15 years. Because having tidied up the issue of rice, by the end of this year, there will be no need to import rice. Once we are self-sufficient here, the rest is exports. And I assure you the demand for Nigerian products is almost impossible to satisfy.
With the announcement of a 100 million naira interest-free loan by the state governor, participants now have a renewed drive to change their economic fortunes and in the process increase foreign exchange earnings through agriculture.